Rappers who change their name. Too rich for regular. What's in a name? Well, a lot if you're a superstar rapper trying to find their identity. Turns out your stage name is a lot like your first email address. 10 years from now, every time you have to say it out loud, you cringe harder than Kim at a Kanye rally. Rappers over the years have changed both their real and stage names for various reasons. Escaping a life of crime, hiding from an ex-girlfriend, or just because their first choice didn't age as well as they'd hoped. So which rappers have changed their name? This is Too Rich for Regular, from rap to the streets and everything in between. But before we get started, if you're here for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and join Too Rich for Regular. We're uploading all the time, so don't miss out. As usual, we save the crazy for the ending, so stick around. This is Rappers Who Change Their Name. Juice WRLD. Let's face it, many of the top rappers we know and love actually have names that don't sound like their normal name, and Juice WRLD was not the first rapper to adopt a stage name different from his original name. Born in 1998 in Chicago, he didn't start out as a rapper. Instead, he started by playing the piano and other musical instruments before moving on to rapping and making songs over free beats he found on the internet. Most of his early songs, all of which were released while he was still in high school, were recorded on his smartphone under the name Juice the Kid. Juice WRLD, real name Jared Higgins, revealed that the juice in his name was inspired by a 1992 film of the same name starring Tupac. He used to have a similar haircut as Tupac's character in the film, and the nickname stuck. As for the world part, well, let's just say he had big plans to take over the world that just never panned out. Rest in peace, Juice. DaBaby. Born in Ohio, Jonathan Lindell Kirk was known by a different name before finally settling on DaBaby. The North Carolina rapper started making music in 2015 using the stage name Baby Jesus. However, he quickly dropped the stage name after releasing his first mixtape, saying Baby Jesus sounded too controversial and didn't want to upset any fans who got the wrong idea. Luckily, his name change didn't seem to hurt his popularity. He went on to say, "Shows me the amount of love and respect people have for me. To change the name and not lose any traction. That's something a lot of people have trouble doing." DaBaby made his big break in 2017, since then releasing 3 studio albums with Baby on Baby certified gold. While his live performances didn't generate a lot of buzz, walking around in diapers certainly got people talking. MIGOS. Although MIGOS was formed in 2008, the group was known by another stage name, the Polo Club. After some inspired conversation, the group decided Polo Club was too generic, and they decided on a modified version of the Spanish word for friends, amigos. And so MIGOS was born, consisting of rappers Quavo, Takeoff, and Offset. Speaking in an interview about the origin of their new group name, Quavo and Takeoff said, "We always ran together on the north side, as MIGOS, as boys." Quavo went on to say, "Yeah, but actually it's the hub of drugs out there. So everyone that comes to Georgia got to touch Gwinnett first, so we just call it MIGOS." The trio was briefly separated when Offset was serving a prison sentence. After 8 months in custody, the trio was reunited, and since then they've become one of the most influential rap groups this generation has seen. Snoop Dogg. While Snoop Dogg is one of the biggest names in the music industry, he's also changed his name a couple of times during his successful career, even though he's been under no real pressure to do so. Unlike many rappers, Snoop Dogg has used his current stage name for the majority of his career. It wasn't until 2012, 20 years after choosing the name Snoop Dogg, that he briefly changed his stage name. Snoop announced a reggae album and a documentary which was to be released under his new stage name of Snoop Lion. Shortly after that, in October 2013, Snoop decided to change his stage name again. He started working on a project called 7 Days of Funk under the name Snoopzilla. He said, "We're the babies in the mothership. I've had funk influences in my music my whole career." Since then, he's reverted back to Snoop Dogg. Thank God. The key to growing on YouTube is knowing what thumbnails, tags, and titles you need to use so that you can get the views, which equals more money. If you want to grow your channel to 300,000 subscribers, use TubeBuddy. You can get TubeBuddy for free by using my link in description or first comment. TubeBuddy.com/strong. Young Thug. Young Thug is another rapper who's changed his name quite a few times. Just like Snoop Dogg, he changed his name as a gimmick to go alongside his newly released mixtape back in 2016. The change was made public by Young Thug's manager, who said Young Thug will now go by the stage name No, My Name is Jeffrey. This is probably one of the weirdest and most ridiculous stage name rappers have adopted, and it's not hard to see why it didn't stick. It wasn't the only time Young Thug changed his name, however. He also did it in February 2018 on his Twitter handle, after tweeting a post that read, "I'm changing my name to Sex." To clarify he wasn't joking, he even followed it straight up with a tweet saying, "From now on, call me Sex." The name changes might keep coming. Young Thug, while in an interview, said, "I had a long-term relationship with Young Thug and I'm kinda picky. So I felt like I ain't want to be in front of Bill Gates or Oprah Winfrey. I don't want my kids to grow up and call me Thug. I don't want anybody to kinda look at me like that." Now, although his reasoning makes sense, I think any name is better than calling him Sex. Doja Cat. Amala Ratna Zandili Dlamini is a tough name to get your tongue around. It makes sense why this LA rapper looked for something a little easier to remember. Amala dropped out of school at 16 and focused on creating songs from stolen beats on YouTube, teaching herself how to use the GarageBand program to mix vocal recordings and free instrumentals. She would upload her creations to SoundCloud, only to take them back down immediately. When she began to be noticed, Amala chose her stage name from a combination of her pet cat and her favorite weed strain. When interviewed, Amala said, "I was heavily addicted to weed and weed culture, so when I began rapping, I thought of the word Doja and how it sounds like a girl's name. And the rest is history." Kendrick Lamar. While using your real name for your music career isn't strange in the music industry as a whole, not many rappers don their real identity when performing. Before he was Kendrick Lamar went by the name K-Dot between 2003 and 2009. Then in 2009, he released a self-titled EP, reverting back to his real name we're all familiar with. Lamar believed changing his name was a very important part of his growth, from being a kid who could rap to a known rapper. Asked about the reasons behind changing his name in 2017, Lamar said, "K-Dot, this was me prepping myself as far as the lyrical ability and being able to go into the studio and say, you know what, I want to be the best wordsmith. Anyone who gets on this track, I have to annihilate them, however that is. I don't have the actual technique of songwriting then. This is the transition when I become Kendrick Lamar. Now I have the ability to make songs and still have the wordsmith technique and intertwine it and have a composed mentality on how to approach music." The importance Kendrick attaches to his stage name and the belief in his growth to go on to adopt his real name as his stage name is one of the things that sets him and his music apart from other rappers. J. Cole. Before J. Cole became a big name in the music industry, he was just a boy who knew he could rap. The only thing he had issues with was coming up with a good name to go with his talent. When J. Cole started posting his songs online, he released them under the rap name Blaza. However, it wasn't too long before he changed it again. He came up with the moniker The Therapist with help from a bunch of his friends. Speaking about the new rap name he adopted, J. Cole said, "We used to look through the dictionary for rap names. I could never find nothing. One day these dudes were like, yo, we got a name for you. It's Therapist." Eventually, he settled for his current stage name, J. Cole, which also happens to be his real name. When asked if he would ever change it again, he said, "I won't change my name again because now it's right. It's perfect. It feels good." Future. Nevadius Damoon Wilburn, better known as Future, was born in Atlanta, Georgia, where he spent all of his childhood. When Future entered the rap game, he initially went by the rap name Meathead and was involved with the Dungeon family. Then he changed his rap name to The Future before finally settling on just Future. Looking back at his journey when speaking with MTV, he revealed that his stage name Future was given to him by a member of the Dungeon family collective. He said that this individual approached him and said, "You're the future. You're a young man, you've got energy, you're ambitious, you're the future of the Dungeon family." After he left the collective, he just stuck with the name. Future's 2020 album, High Off Life, peaked at #1 on the US and Canadian Billboard charts. So what does Future's future hold? We'll just have to wait and see. You made it to the end. Thanks for stopping by. Who's your favorite rapper that's had an identity crisis and changed their name? Did we miss anyone off this list? Don't forget to tell us in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like, subscribe, or both. Let us know in the comments if there's any other crazy topics we can cover in future videos. This has been the rappers who changed their name, and you're watching Too Rich for Regular. See you next time.